Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today, wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. Now, in this video, I'm going to answer the one question that you all had. I did a video the other day, showed you how Ripple is tied to carbon credits and David Schwartz being so bullish on carbon credits. And this could be why. This video might answer that. I'm not bullish on carbon credits in any way because I think they're going to be used as a tool in the future to price all of us out. I even can view carbon credits as the one world currency of the future. So let's take a look. Many people have difficulties distinguishing between carbon credits and emission allowances. Carbon Reporter and Mike Sabo, CP, are doing a great job in drawing attention to the differences. So we see here, carbon credits are created through projects that produce, remove, or avoid greenhouse gas emissions. Emission allowances are part of the cap and trade systems, max emissions that can be emitted by entities covered by the system are set by regulatory authorities. Within the cap, regulated entities buy or receive emission allowances. That's why I said in the future, we're going to have to buy carbon offsets. Web3 innovations like tokenization of natural resources compiled with satellite measurement and reporting allow us to increase the supply of climate projects. Geolocation helps us monetize other environmentally valuable locations within our forests, like waterfalls, caves, etc. They are going to tokenize everything in the future. No matter what it is, they want to tokenize leaves on trees and trees themselves, and the air we breathe, water. Everything will have a price in the future. Events are playing out showing the need to tokenize everything. Governments use COVID pandemic to print money into oblivion, line their pockets one last time while robbing every man, woman, and child of all they can. Stimulus payments were to pacify the masses, payoffs not to revolt. Now, I feel 2020 was the year we stopped paying attention for an entire year. Most people were glued to their TV, worried about the pandemic. They were getting hit with all kinds of fear from all the news outlets. On top of that, if you weren't watching the news, you were out chasing down the last roll of toilet paper on Earth. But while that was happening, these people were building a system to use against us. The system is now almost there. I mean, think about it. CBDCs popping up in every single country. Climate change talked about more and more every day. It's a system that will literally enslave all of us. We are in a world where you can literally tokenize anything from commodities to financial assets, real estate, wine, cars, art, and many more. We are even exploring tokenizing time and tokenizing expertise. That comes directly from Ripple. The movie in time can be looked at like that, in that way, because time was so valuable in that movie. But it's going to be every aspect of our lives. So even if carbon credits were not the new financial currency of the world, or the new currency of the world, one world currency, it can easily be tied to all the currencies of the world because everybody is going to have to buy carbon offsets globally. This isn't going to be this country or that country, it's going to be the entire world. And I think what's going to happen is it's going to be tied to this. Who's ready for their 15-minute cities? Anything out of your 15-minute city will be tracked via intelligence cameras and charge carbon credits on your social credit system. Sound interesting? Keep complying. And you see, eat healthy, learn, work, share and reuse, stock up, enjoy the outdoors, be engaged in your community, take care of your health, get around, stay active. They're going to have so many things in the future that are going to be tied to carbon credits and that social credit score that you're going to have to be rich to offset that on a daily basis. I believe vintage cars are going to be astronomically expensive in the future as well once everything goes to an EV. But again, to drive that car, you're going to have to buy carbon credits. Climate is already perverted to tax carbon, but it will trickle down to travel, meat, alcohol, sugar, anything not deemed a necessity. Necessities will still face a crushing general carbon tax. It's permanent economic enslavement. And that's what I'm trying to say. If you don't enrich yourself while you still can, in the future, you will literally own nothing and have to be happy about it. Because if you're rich, you can live life a lot differently. And I've been saying that for a long time. This is why we're seeing land grabs for farms and middle class homes. The carbon credits to build, buy a home will soon be harder to attain for most than the money. We're being priced out of a system not even invented yet. So get property now. And you see how they're coming for the farms in other countries as well right now. Because everything is going to be tied to carbon credits. They're going to make you have to make your house carbon neutral. And you're going to have to spend a lot of money to get it to that point. Think about gas stations, how much carbon credits they're going to have to buy. That's why gas stations will be gone in the future. They won't be able to keep up with the carbon credits. In theory, property ownership prior to this nightmare should be allowed owners to skip most, if not all of the newly imposed carbon pricing. But I suspect government will deny carbon exemption upon inheritance. Regardless, land allows you to produce carbon costly goods for personal use. So say you want to have a garden in your yard or whatever the case may be. You won't be able to do that unless you buy carbon offsets to do it. And that's how they're going to control all the food in the world at the same time. This leads to a dynamic where some may have children to sell carbon credits. To the wealthier, people will have kids to access larger carbon purchase power. We already see abuse of child welfare, so this would likely lead to a cap on kids. Population negates the goal of a carbon system. And again, we're going to see so much corruption around carbon credits as time goes on as well. And they're already starting to introduce carbon offsets in the pricing of things. We see it with certain companies. The way to ensure government doesn't turn humanity into a commodity is denial of power. We must be loud and have courage. Government will label the resistance as terrorist, antagonizing with authoritarian law to provoke violence. Don't be baited. They seek justification to circumvent democracy. We've seen that with the trucking up in Canada, that huge convoy. And this was the most evil speech I think I've ever heard in my life. This guy divides the country on a daily basis. And when you see them there with that dark red behind them, like it's a need to go out there and spew hate between two different groups of people. That's what it comes down to. They're trying to keep us divided all the time. You have to be able to see through it. Finally, I strongly encourage citizens to arm themselves. Firearms are the forefront of private property ownership. They are a deterrent from government overreach. They offer protection in an increasingly desperate world. They unlock the ability to hunt and harvest meat. That's why right away the first thing they try to do is take your guns from you. But here's what it comes down to. While they take your guns from you, the criminals are still buying illegal guns all over the world. So how do you protect yourself in the future? On top of that, you see people commit crimes and get away with it on a daily basis. U.S. considers banning or restricting gas stoves. Now, when I first seen this on Twitter, somebody said, nobody even uses a gas stove anymore. Well, they're wrong about that because about 40 million U.S. households, or around 35%, currently have gas stoves. But scientists have cautioned for the past 40 years that these stoves, which can release unhealthy levels of pollutants like nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, methane, and benzene, could be harming our health. So anybody who's been using a gas stove for a long period of time, even probably lived well into their 90s, now all of a sudden it's not good for you and we need to ban it. It's going to come down to carbon offsets in the future. It's the little things you got to pay attention to. First they come for gas stoves. Then all of a sudden you can't use the gas dryer anymore. Then all of a sudden you can't put gas in your car anymore. Do you see how it trickles down? That's what their whole agenda is. Climate change allows the elites to have a separate global currency via which they can launder money, which they steal from the masses, otherwise known as carbon credits. It's a tax on every single person throughout the world. This is one thing that we are truly all in this together. I don't care what country you're from. This is going to affect every single one of us. You know, I look through YouTube and I see where my viewers are from, and you're from all over the world. We share a few things in common, though. This is one of them. The other is that we were all smart enough to invest in XRP when we did. We all share that same vision. And I'm telling you, you have to see through what they're doing. I believe carbon offsets can become the currency of the future. Let me know what you think about that. And like I said, it doesn't matter even if it isn't the one world currency. It's going to be tied to every single crypto in the world in the future. It's going to be tied to the new financial system. XRP and Ripple are at the heart of all of this. I pointed it out in many videos. It's all part of the same agenda. And that's not going to, make me sell my XRP in any way. In fact, it makes me want to hold on to it even more because we need to enrich ourselves while we still can. This is our once in our lifetime opportunity. We have to take it. But this is the new structure for the channel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make one video, tell you all the news around crypto, and tie in some XRP, talking points. If there's any big news, I'll do a one full video just on XRP and the news around it. Then I'm going to do another video where I try to address some of your comments. And a lot of you mentioned about carbon offsets, so I thought maybe I could point this out in this video. The next one will probably be something else based on your comments. This way we could all learn together, come up with ideas together, stay awake together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you watching my videos. We'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.